Welcome back, everyone. It feels good to be back in the garage, and it's finally time to start assembling the interior in the Ram. It's been parked way too long, just everything taken apart in the interior, everything got put on hold. We did get some progress though on the last video, so if you haven't seen that, I'm gonna link it somewhere up here. Make sure to go check that out. We rewrapped the headliner in all new black material. I did attempt to dye it. I was not happy with those results. The fabric ended up getting really hard and crispy, and I just didn't like the quality of it. So we rewrapped it. All that's looking good. And I think we're finally ready to get everything back up there. We also have some brand new OEM parts, as well as all the other parts that I had painted. So I'm gonna bring you in closer so you can see all the parts that I have and everything that's gonna make this project possible. So here we have the headliner that we wrapped in the last video. Pretty happy with the way this came out overall. It looks lighter on video than it does in person. It looks kind of more bluish charcoal on the camera, but it's definitely nice and black in person. The material is very soft and plush, so that's really nice. Way better than what we had before. And then we have a lot of new pieces going in from Mopar. We also have some of these painted pieces. These I'm very excited about. I was able to find these online. Didn't even know that these existed, but they do come black on some trims, and I was able to find these. These are the illuminated version. My truck did not have these. I had just a mirror. So we have all the wiring here, and we have the wiring that we ran on the headliner. All that's ready to go. So that's gonna help make the wiring a lot easier, make that possible. And then this is the piece here that I had painted. As you can see, this matches pretty well. Everything matches really, really well. I'm a little bit surprised, but this is the back part here. This one was painted as well for the light. Visor clips. These are some little pieces that go, I think, around the seat belt. There's a lot of parts along the seatbelt bracket and all that, so I have some of those parts, but we'll get to that later. Right now I'm just focused on the upper portion. And then of course we have the A-pillars. These are very, very nice, and all this stuff matches really well. So just a heads up, if you are going to try to get these, I don't remember which one it was. It might have been the driver's side, but that thing is on national back order, or so I was told. I tried calling everywhere trying to source that part, and nobody had it, but I called and called and called, and I was finally able to find one that somebody had in stock that they were willing to sell and ship out. So thankfully I was able to get those down. But these are all the pieces. This is everything we need to go in. All that's left to do is install it. Now for the fun part, let's get this thing in there. The headliner is officially up. The wiring for the visors, everything is working. The lights are working. There's only one little issue, and that's the lights that come on these visors. So all the lights in the truck are LED. Well, I changed them over to LED. They used to be the ugly yellow bulbs, and everything was switched over to LED. So these need to be taken care of. As you can see, I already did one of them. I was trying to figure out the bulb that this one used, so that was a little process, but I did figure it out. Everything else here in the rear, they're all white LEDs. Everything looks nice and crisp, but these yellow lights have to go. So once you find the bulbs, which I do have, I did find, and I'll make sure to link those down below so that you can purchase those as well. Found these on Amazon, pretty inexpensive, very, very tiny bulbs. All you have to do is pry off this little plastic piece. You're gonna need something like a small flathead or a poking tool, and they have these little notches on there, so all you're gonna do is just poke it in there, pry this part off. You might need, I just use my hands, and I have really big hands, but if you have like needle nose or something, that might be easier. The only thing is you want to be very careful because you don't want to crush the bulb or the LEDs. So we're going to pop these off, put the new bulbs in, and we should be good to go. It's kind of difficult to film a black headliner in such a dark interior. So right now I have a light shining directly on it, just so you could see it a little bit better. But because the light's shining right on it, it is kind of showing up a little bit bluish or grayish on camera. But I assure you, it is nice and dark. Everything matches really well with the surrounding panels. But I think one of my favorite parts about this is just how soft it is. It has that foam backing, so it has like a very soft kind of plush feel to it. And just the surface is just really, really soft. I don't know how often I'm going to be touching the headliner, but coming from what I had before, when I tried to dye the old fabric, it just came out feeling very rough and kind of crispy feeling. So this is a very nice upgrade. I was able to get the LEDs installed into the visors, and those are matching really well with the existing lights in the cab. Thankfully, all the wiring and everything that I did previously is working and functioning just like it's supposed to, just like OEM. Map lights are working, visor lights are working. I even got the home link to work. I was able to get that programmed. So everything up top, headliner, all this stuff is buttoned up, just about good to go. But as you can see, we are nowhere near done. We still have the back pillars to get installed. I have all this back section. All that needs to be buttoned up. The sound system needs to be finalized. That's something that I started months ago. I have videos on that, so make sure to check that out so you can see that whole process. But I already did all the hard work, and all that's left to do is those little minor things and just make the connections. And I still don't even know what this thing sounds like yet. So very anxious to get that installed so I can finally hear that, finally have my interior back, and we can move on to the exterior. So all that's going to be coming up in the next few videos. Make sure to stay tuned. You don't want to miss those videos. Everything that we use today, I'll make sure to include all the part numbers down below, maybe a few links. If you guys have any questions at all, make sure to leave them down below. Leave a comment. I'll do my best to get back to each and every one of you. Try my best to help you guys out. But I think this is going to be a good stopping point for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. You don't want to miss what's coming up. I'll see you guys in the next video.